to say good morning to everyone here. My name is Andy LeVar. I'm the Executive Vice President and Director of Government Relations here at the A2I Chamber. I want to welcome you to this special town hall event, this virtual town hall. We are so fortunate today. We have with us Ypsilanti's new mayor, recently sworn in, Lois Richardson. Now Mayor Richardson, many of you know her either as Lois Richardson or Councilmember Richardson. She has a long and rich history here in our community. She has served on the city council in some form or fashion for roughly 20 years, including service as a representative for Ward 1 and as Mayor Pro Tem, and now as Ypsilanti's mayor. And we are excited to have Mayor Richardson with us to give really an update from her vantage point in terms of what she sees ahead for the city of Ypsilanti, its community, its community members and businesses, and also to give all of you a chance to ask the mayor questions, particularly our local business community here. And just frankly, if you haven't had a chance to get to know Mayor Richardson, to get an introduction today. And so on behalf of the Chamber and our President and CEO, Diane Keller, we are very fortunate to be here today. We appreciate you spending some time with us. And it is now my pleasure to turn it over to the new mayor, recently sworn in, Mayor of Ypsilanti. Please welcome Lois Richardson.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here. And even though I can't see all of you, it's nice to be in your presence. And I want to thank Andy and the Chamber for inviting me and affording me this opportunity to speak to a broader portion of the community. I want to first maybe just kind of tell you some things about myself. Some of you might know me and some of you might not. I was born here in the city of Ypsilanti. I was born right on Harriet Street, and my homestead still stands there. I'm a proud product of the Ypsilanti Public Schools, and I always like to say that. Today we hear so much negativity about public schools, but I myself, and I can name any number of people here in the city of Ypsilanti that are still going strong, and they had a public school education. Also, I'm a graduate of EMU. I have a bachelor's degree in social work and in education. I am a certified teacher, and I've done some teaching. I'm a licensed and ordained minister. Some of you might have known that, or others not. I spent close to 10 years on the foreign mission field, and some people used to tease me and tell me that I was really on vacation, because most of those 10 years were all in the Caribbean. I was stationed for the first 2 years in Haiti, a country I absolutely love. And then the rest of the time I was based in Trinidad, but I traveled out throughout the Caribbean and even down into South America. Altogether, my feet touched the ground in 15 different nations. Let me see. As Andy mentioned, I've been on city council. I lived away, but I would move back here to Ypsi in 92. And I think it was about 99, my brother-in-law, and he calls me Aunt Lois and I call him Uncle Herb, and he said, "Hey, Aunt Lois, you need to start thinking around about running for city council." And I thought, no, I don't think so. That's not fitting in my, plan book. Was trying to bargain with the Lord to get him to send me back to the foreign field. It didn't have to be back to the Caribbean, but I just wanted to go back to the foreign field. Did take my brother-in-law's suggestion, advice, or whatever, urging and nudging. And in 2000, I ran for and was elected to Ypsilanti City Council for Ward 1. I have served in that seat since that time. So in November, I will and I've been Mayor Pro Tem again since 2018. I want to talk about the city. I was really kind of thrust in this position. I ran twice. I ran for mayor in 2002 against Cheryl Farmer, the incumbent mayor at that time. And then I ran for mayor again in 2006. And my opponents were two men, Paul Schreiber and Steve Pierce. And of course, Paul Schreiber won that election. So, and I began to serve as Mayor Pro Tem and served, like I said, for I think 2 or 3 terms as Mayor Pro Tem, and then skipped a term. And now it just so happened I was Mayor Pro Tem at this time in our city's history or city's workings. It's unfortunate that our former mayor had to resign, but council has begun to take a stand and to change and wanting to see change happening. I challenged council at the first meeting in June to look deep inside. And I'm sending out this challenge to everyone listening to me now, to look deep inside and pull up your biases. And we all have biases. We might want to think we don't, but we all have biases. And we need to look inside, pull up that bias and put it smack dab in front of us, look it deadly in the face and say, bias, you've got to go. And then begin to work on getting rid of that bias. And I've been doing that. I started doing it late May, and I'm pretty much one has been destroyed, and I won't be satisfied until it does. And then I will look and see if there's some more there. But that's one way that we're going to see change. And we're living in such unprecedented times right now, with the pandemic and then with the Black Lives Matter movement. And it is a movement. It's not just a moment, it's a movement. Things must change. We've been looking forward to and saying things gotta change, but we hadn't done all that we could to make them change. The other challenge that I gave to council was, and I gave it exactly 2 weeks later, and this was that infamous county council meeting when the mayor made her unfortunate statement. But I challenge council to, if we see racism, because this is the word of the day, once we get past, and I call COVID-19, I just call it Corona, I just call it 19. And once we get past 19, racism's gonna still be there. We're gonna have to deal with it sometime or other. And so I challenge council at the June 16th meeting that if you see racism, call it out. If you hear racism, call it out. Many times, and I've learned this in just living, many times people don't realize, including me, we don't always realize what we're saying and that it might be racist. We just say it. Some of us are so used to saying what we want to say when we want to say it that we don't stop to think of the origin of it. But I challenge council, and I challenge you also, if you see anything that smacks of racism or biases or bigotry, call it out. And when you call it out, you make the person aware of what they're doing, because they might not even be aware of it. And for some reason, this little story is coming back to mind. I was back, oh gosh, long before I was on council. I was working as an intake worker for juvenile court, Washington Juvenile Court. And I rode into work every day with another worker that I shared office with, and she had to make a stop at a school. And so while she went into the school, I was sitting there in the car, just sitting there waiting for her. It was at the end of the day. There was a car, and I believe it was an election day, a car parked next to me, and it had 2 little young, cute, very cute white kids in the car. And all of a sudden I began to hear the N-word, 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 N-word. And it caught my attention. So I looked over at them, and they were making a song out of it. And so I just sat there very calmly, and I waited for their parents to come out. And when their parents came, I got out of the car and I said, I'm sure you would like to know this. While you were inside, your children made a song out of calling me the N-word. And the look on their faces, it was unbelievable. And I'm sure these children were young enough that they had to have been hearing that word at home. They had to have been hearing it somewhere for them to be able to say it and just let it roll off their tongue in a song. So I'm challenging everybody. If you see something, say something. If you see something, do something if it warrants doing something. And then the words of the late John E. Lewis that we're still mourning, if you see something, say something. Trouble that's going to get us out of the place where we are right now. And we do need to come out of that place. And you saw me looking down. I'm trying to read. I jotted myself some notes. And how many of you ever wrote yourself notes and you can't read them when you go back? But anyway, I want to talk about some of my first goals being mayor of the city of Ypsilanti. And the goals are, right now, I'm working on developing and forming a racial and equity advisory cabinet for the city. I've had numerous people call me, text me, email me, and just if they see me out, and this is not just now, but it's been over the years, talk to me about the pain that they have and the build up of some of the racism that they experience. Blacks were not allowed in Hobbs. And on the way home, I was going to Ipsy High. On the way home, a group of us would stop there. Hobbs had a little window that they served colored people from that window. And I think back now and I think how silly we were, but we would stop there at least twice a week to buy their French fries. My friends and I, we put our little pennies together because you could get a whole brown lunch sack full of fries for I think we paid 10 cents or maybe 15 cents back then in that day. And then I also remember the Clark shop. Black women could not they could shop there, they could buy an item, but they could not use the dressing rooms to try it on. So Ypsilanti has come a long way. We don't have that overtness anymore, but we certainly have enough of still institutional, systemic, and barely under the cover racism that needs to be dealt with. So I'm asking the people on this committee, their job will be to develop a healing plan for the city. I want the city to work on healing. And I have called my first 100 days in office, 100 days of healing and love. And I don't know how much I'm going to be able to accomplish within those 100 days, but I'm going to do all that I can to get as much done and as much healing and as much love as possible flowing in the city of Ypsilanti. So that's one of the first things that I want to do. And I'm in the process of now selecting people for that cabinet. If you know anyone, the real stipulation to be a member of this cabinet, you must live in the city of Ypsilanti. This cabinet will be comprised of approximately 40 people, and we will have people from all ages, all ethnic backgrounds, if we want to call it races. I know a lot of people say we only have one race, that's a human race, but whatever color you are, whatever position you are in life, all genders will be welcome, and all gender identities will also be welcome. So we want this group to come together. We want them to develop a plan, just a very simple plan, if at all possible, so that we can really, truly work on Ypsilanti and getting rid of racism. I do know that what's in the root will come out in the fruit. So I'm hoping that this commission, this cabinet, will come up with a plan where we can go back and go deep and begin to deal with the roots of racism that have been in the city for a long, long time, so that we can pull up those roots, get rid of them, so they cannot continue to produce fruit. So if you know someone that would be willing to work on that committee that lives in the city of Ypsilanti, please have them get in touch with me. And I'll ask Andy to put my contact information in the chat room, or if they can put it on their site, or I don't know how they handle this. But I want people to know that I will make myself available. I am available, and I really want to see this city move forth and flourish in every way. I want us, I don't use the word great anymore. It still comes out every now and then, but that word has been so overused, so overworked, and in some ways it has been tainted. In some ways it's not as great as it says when it calls its name. But I want to make us a grand city. I'm calling Ypsilanti grand, and to me, grand is just brilliant. It's going to be flourishing. It's going to be a city that many people will want to come and visit. Many people will not only want to come and visit, but people will come into the city and want to stay here, not leave, want to begin to move here, so that we can grow. Not only am I working on that committee, I'm working with, my goal is to work with every age group. On August the 6th, there will be a mayor's town hall meeting with young people. And I've got so many different definitions now of millennial and X generation and generation Y and Z. But anyway, it will be for young people between the ages of 25 and 39. And I guess that's hitting the millennial, and some keep telling me that they're getting ready to, the two ladies that I have organizing this, they keep saying, well, you know, Mayor, we're almost out of being millennials. We're getting close to 40. But I want to meet with that group and hear what they have to say and their goals, what their vision, what it is that they have for the city. I want to do that also with the teens, say from 13 to 19 or 13 to 22, and just hear from them also about what they want to see in the city, how they want to see the city prosper, how they want to see the city flourish. So those are some things that I have that are right now that I'm hoping will come to pass, that we'll begin to work on them. And I'm not saying that they're going to be quick, easy solutions to any of this. It's not. We're going to have to work at it. But I'm committed to working at this for as long as I have the power, the authority, to the influence to do what I can. Because as my whole hometown, I want to see Ypsilanti to flourish in a grand way. One of my goals right now too is I'm trying to reach out either by phone or in person, and with the virus as it is, and beginning to be on an upsweep in the city, in the state of Michigan. Once again, I am pretty much staying in, and when I go out, I mask up. And I think it's so funny that people are so resistant to masks. I remember I had to go to DC back in March for the NLC Cities Conference, and I was going to be flying, and that was when they first began talking about the virus. And so the day before my flight, I went all over town looking for some kind of mask that I could wear on the airplane. And the only mask I could find were dust masks. Well, I thought this is better than nothing. So I wore a dust mask as I flew from Detroit to Baltimore, and when I was coming back, I also wore my mask. Well, by the time I came back after the 10 days there, things were such that things were beginning to be kind of slowed down, and I saw any number of people on the return trip wearing masks. But I do wear masks. But so I am trying to reach out, and I will make myself available. If you're a business owner in the city of Ypsilanti and you don't get a call from me, you don't get a visit from me, please call me. Please call me. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's just that there's only so many hours in the day, and I used to call people at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I have learned not to do that anymore. So please feel free to give me a call, because I want the city to have a good working relationship with our businesses. And I know that I've heard from businesses that has not always been the case. I'm not going to say that I can solve all the problems between the city and business, but I will certainly work on it and try to do my best. I want to see us to grow. I want to see the city flourish. I want to see us expand. I want to see Water Street. I'm tired of driving up and down Michigan Ave and looking to my right and seeing that ugly, ugly, ugly space where there were businesses, but now that sits very idle. So I am looking for, going to be actively looking for some businesses or something that will come there and begin to fill in Water Street. And I know I have lots of business here listening. If you have any ideas, any suggestions, any contacts, anything that we might be able to look at and begin to examine, to explore what can be done with Water Street. And I want to see that. I would love to see something begin to be there. See, I'm willing to reach out, and I want you to reach back to me. I want to see businesses flourish, and even in the midst of COVID, I know that we just can't go in like we used to. That's one of the reasons why the city, and I think very wisely so, voted to close streets and to have outdoor seating so that restaurants could continue their business, and where the restaurants weren't able to have space right in front because we couldn't block off Michigan Avenue for some of the restaurants there. We did close North Washington Street. I'm sorry. We closed North Washington, and their tables and businesses can serve their customers there. And there's live music on, not every night, but on some nights. And it's just a good, fun place to go and be safe. But please, if you're going anywhere in the city of Ypsilanti, wear your mask. I don't know if you were aware, but back when the virus was on its height here in Michigan, the zip codes 48197 and 48198 had the highest percentages of COVID cases and the highest percentages of COVID deaths in the state. And that's because of the African American population that is in those two zip codes. And it has gone down, but as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't gone down far enough. We need to get rid of COVID. And I hope that we're all doing what we can to stay safe. And I don't know, I'm open now for questions, answers, and if you have any comments. So Andy. Okay. Well, since he's not here, one of the other things that I really would like to do is to develop a city garden plot. And I believe I've reached out to Hope, Growing Hope, and I'm waiting for us to be able to have a sit down to find a spot where we actually can have a city garden. And in this garden, I'd really like to see us have some kind of sculpture so that it's just not vegetation. I would love to see us have a, in that garden, I'd love to see us have florals, but I'd also like to see a place in that garden where we're actually growing some things that we can eat. And there are some vegetables that grow. When they're growing, they are absolutely, and blooming and all, they're absolutely beautiful. But I want us to have, that's something that I really want, and I hope that we can start on that very soon when I get a chance to really sit down and talk to and explore all of that with Growing Hope. So, Andy, I see you're back. Yes. I'm ready for questions and answers. You're muted. Andy, you're muted. Andy, you're muted.
Okay. Sorry, the unmute capability had been locked, and I apologize about that. I was just trying to communicate that. We've had a few questions come in, but first, just some general sentiment that there is real excitement about the cabinet that you mentioned. And I just wanted to ask one more time about the qualifications, and if somebody is interested, how they can express that interest. Are you willing to restate that?
Oh, I sure am, most definitely, because I want to get this cabinet going. And if someone is on here, you do not live in the city, but you know someone that lives in the city that you think would be a good person to have on this cabinet, please let me know. I will ask again, Andy, if you would put my my contact information
Sure.
in the chat so that people can take it down. The qualifications are only that the person lives in the city of Ypsilanti and that they are a registered voter. I will not tolerate any non-registered voters on this cabinet. You must be a registered voter and you must live in the city of Ypsilanti. And this cabinet will be completely diverse, gender-wise, diverse age-wise, diverse race-wise, diverse ethnicities, background wise. So it's going to be a diverse cabinet, and it will probably it will flourish. There will be a flurry in the beginning, because so that everybody will get acclimated, people will get a chance to become acquainted with each other. And the purpose of this is to develop a plan for the city to begin to heal going forward. It's develop a healing plan for the city. So only two qualifications. One, if you're eligible, if you're a voting age, that you're registered to vote, and that you live in the city of Ypsilanti. And I would like, if you have some very sharp students, 14, 15, I'm willing to entertain them also, because I want all ages on here. So
Wonderful. And we will get your contact information out to chamber members. And it is also available on the city's website, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. We have a few questions here. The first deals with, do you have any plans in terms of working with the DDA on business development once we get through the challenge presented by COVID-19? Any thoughts on that?
Yes, I do. I attended, well, it wasn't my actual first DDA meeting, because in the past I've attended a few here and there, but I attended my first official DDA meeting a week ago today. And I am committed to working with the DDA, and I'm committed to working with all business owners throughout the city, whether they're in downtown, or whether they're in Depot Town, whether they're on Cross Street. And I know those are the three areas of business that are part of the DDA. But we also have scattered businesses in other locations throughout the city. So I'm willing to work with all business owners, business leaders. Yes. And I'm willing to work and committed to work with the DDA to help to try to bring in business downtown and Depot Town, Cross Street, and to help businesses to begin to flourish again. I know it's not, and I'm not expecting this to be an easy thing, especially in the climate that we're living in. But we cannot just stand still. We have to move forward. We have to do things incrementally. We have to do them little by little, whatever we can do to begin to cause businesses once again, and there's this word, flourish.
Understood. And we appreciate, Mayor, the relationship we've always had with you in public office. And we hope as a chamber that we will be part of the outreach there with the business community and help facilitate any connections, interactions that would be helpful to you in that endeavor. Please go ahead.
If I can say this, Andy, you
sure.
at the chamber will be getting calls from me. I do not think that I know it all. I do not think that I know everything that we can do, or that my way is the only way to do something, but I'm open, and I'm not afraid to ask for help. I'm not afraid. And if some of you on here know me, I will ask for help in a moment. So if I need help, expect my calls to the chamber.
Expect it. Will do. You bet. And thank you again, Mayor. We had a question come in about what you feel the relationship is right now between Eastern Michigan University and the City of Ypsilanti, and where you see that relationship going now that you're in the mayoral seat.
Whoa. Okay. Right now, I think the relationship between the city and EMU is kind of spotted. I know that the city has worked with EMU on several projects, and we're still open to working on projects jointly. I would really like to see EMU and the city come to a town gown relationship. I would love to see this EMU and the city adopt the slogan, "So goes the town, so goes the university. So goes the university, so goes the town." We can't get rid of Eastern. And Eastern owns a good portion of the city. And Eastern, I know at times, their population is greater than the population in the city. But I'm of a mind that EMU cannot be all it can be unless they work with and help the city become all it can be. And the city cannot be all it can be unless we work with EMU and help it become all that it can be. I'm hoping that we will have a good working relationship, and that the EMU will come to the city and talk about big projects and plans that they're making. Let's take the parking lot for an example. That was a deal that the EMU had cut before they came to the city to ask for us to sign off on it. And it was a very difficult choice to make. I did vote yes, because I don't believe in giving. Universities and cities are so strapped for finances. I don't believe in giving any money back. But I found out afterwards it was an already done deal when they asked for us to sign off on it. I would not like to see those kinds of things happen again. If they're going to make major changes, please talk with the city before those changes are made. Let us work together so that myself and council members, we're not caught unawares when people, having heard it from one place or another, they come to us and say, oh, what do you think about Eastern doing this, that, or the other? Well, this is the first will become the best home for EMU that it can be, and that the university, EMU, will be the best university to enhance and uplift and upbuild the city of Ypsilanti. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, yes. And again, obviously, any value you see in the chamber helping in that relationship, we look forward to being useful, Mayor.
Thank you very much. I accept that offer, and I'll call you.
We had a few questions come in related to the timing of any upcoming election and the replacement for your seat as the former Ward 1 council member. It's my understanding, please correct me where I'm wrong here, that because of the specifics of the city's elections commission and timing of the upcoming election, that right now the Attorney General is making a decision on if you will serve sort of a remaining term until 2022, or if there would be an election beforehand. And so I think the answer is unknown at this point. Is that right?
And Andy, I really don't want to get into that because it is in the hands of the Attorney General. So I'd like to leave it there and just, we'll abide by her decision. Sure.
Understood. And we'll look for that whenever the AG will that.
I would like to, though, along those lines, just say some people are referring to me as the interim mayor, some as acting mayor. I would like to say that I took the oath for the mayor's office. So I am the sitting mayor until the Attorney General renders her decision.
Sure. Fully vested with the authority that comes with that position
Yes.
for the swearing in. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for that note, Mayor. We had a question, this is relatively recent, that's come in. If you have any thoughts about some of the service decisions that were recently announced by the RIDE that impact the city of Ypsilanti, and just wanted to give you a chance to say, to share your thoughts on that.
Whew, okay. This is still a work in process. Progress. But anyway, was the RIDE had, with their first publication of what they were going to do when they began to restore more service come August, was they were eliminating the 47. And the 47 was the bus that came up Harriet Street, circled around through the Heritage Park area, which includes Monroe, Madison, Jefferson, First Ave, Second Ave. And they were eliminating that. And anyone that lived in that area would either have to walk to Michigan Ave. They were going to maintain, I believe that is the 6th that goes from downtown out to Myers and I think on into Ann Arbor possibly. But they were someone in my area, or I'll just use me. If I wanted to take the bus with their plan, I would have to walk to Michigan Avenue. Okay. Those walking distance days are over for me. And I know lots of people in this area that use the bus for doctor's appointments, for grocery shopping, for kids going to school. It's needed. So, meeting along with Representative Peterson and Commissioner Jefferson, we have been meeting with the administration of AAATA. We met with Matt Carpenter and Brian Smith and Mary, and I believe her last name, I'm seeing Bloom. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But anyway, we had a meeting with them, and they assured us those were their plans. However, there's been a letter campaign that was started. Letters are going to the administration there saying that this is totally unacceptable. Ypsilanti passed a millage for bus service that it would be expanded, and one of those expansions was for it to be expanded within the area that I just described. We met again with Mr. Carpenter and Brian Smith and Mary on yesterday, and also with the president of their board, Eric Mailer, I believe. It's Mailer or Mahler, Maherler. So help me someone. But anyway, we met with them, and so they are taking another look at it, and they will have an answer for us early next week, possibly Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. They heard what we were saying, that it was unacceptable and that some changes had to happen. The other that people here, what they were offering for this area was the flex ride. I'm sorry, the A ride. The A ride will take you from your door to the door where you're going. However, it's $3 one way. If you have people that take the bus to work and they're making $8 or $9 an hour, that's almost, and paying $6 a day for transportation, that's almost like they were only working 7 hours a day rather than the full 8. Plus, 6 times 5 is $30. We have some people in this area that their total grocery bill for a week might be $50 or $60. So if they're paying $30 in transportation, that's cutting their grocery bill in half. So service was planned to be cut in the most oppressed and depressed area of the city. And that can't happen. So we're meeting, and we will continue to meet. We will continue to talk, and we will continue to make noise if we have to until the service is restored. Understanding that AAATA is having financial making cuts, just like all other businesses are, but they also got some money from the CARES Act. It should be an equitable cut. If you're not going to restore service, and don't just make it in one area, make it equitably throughout your whole service area. To give you an example, I just described the A ride that people in the Heritage Park area would have to take. Well, people in South Ypsilanti Township, they would be afforded a flex ride. And a flex ride is where a vehicle from Golden Limousine would pick up the person at a bus stop, and they would take them to the transit center. And that is $1. The flex ride is $1, but the A ride is $3. So go figure.
So more to come on that. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
We had a question actually related to the position that you were formerly in, the Mayor Pro Tem position. For somebody who is not following the intricacies of local government, can you just briefly explain what that position is and does? I believe there's a similar position in the city of Ann Arbor and other cities around the county.
Okay, when people ask me that question, the simplest way I have taken to explaining it is, it's like being vice president. The mayor pro tem takes the gavel if the mayor has to leave the meeting. If the mayor's not going to be there, the mayor pro tem runs the meeting. Often the mayor, I've worked under been mayor pro tem under 3 different mayors, and some of the mayors, a couple of the mayors, they would ask me to attend events that they could not attend. So, like, it'd be like vice mayor, it's some people get caught up on the pro tem, but it's just vice mayor. And some places they call it vice mayor.
Gotcha.
Just
Thank
to
you.
fill in when the mayor's not available.
We had a question come in, and that is, if you have any thoughts on ways in which Michigan medicine and St. Joe's can or should work in the city to address any health disparities. Obviously, that's at the forefront of conversations today. Do you have any thoughts about those relationships or things you would like to see in terms of that?
Okay, Andy, you were really garbled. I didn't hear all of what the question was. So could you repeat it?
I can. Can you hear me a bit better now, Mayor?
I can hear volume is fine, but it's just, it gets garbled. Like you're about to freeze and then you don't freeze, and I hear you, and so.
Gotcha. Any better?
Keep going.
Okay. We had a question about what are your thoughts about St. Joe's and Michigan medicine working with the City of Ypsilanti to address any underlying health disparities here in the city?
Okay, Andy, I'll have to preface that by saying I have not given a lot of thought to that. I've only been here a hot minute, but no, I would love to see any way that we can begin to address health issues in the city. And I do know that there are some health issues here in the city that need to be addressed. So I'm open to working with anyone, to Michigan Health, St. Joe. I'm open to working with whoever I can to improve health availability, health services availability here in the city, and also to work towards increasing better health in the city. So even though I can't give you a specific answer or thought about what I want to do, I just can only say that I am willing to work with both of those entities to see what we can do to improve health here in the city of Ypsilanti.
And again, Mayor, we appreciate you being willing to answer questions on the fly today. So thank you for that again. Maybe a bit different question. What do you think is most exciting in Ypsilanti, or gives you the most sense of optimism here coming up in the next 6 months or year or so? What should we look forward to, do you think?
Okay. One, I hope we can begin to look forward to to better race relations in the city. I hope that the chief laid out a plan on Tuesday night for a return to community policing. I hope that council soon has a time to have a discussion with him about his plans so that we can reestablish community policing. I think that is important. I was, just as I was coming on council back in 2000, the then chief, George Baser, and a deputy chief, Matt Harshberger, were very much working on developing a community policing plan here in the city. I'm looking forward to that coming on board within the next 6 months. I do believe strongly in community policing. I believe that if the police have a relationship with the citizens, and the citizens and residents have a relationship with the police, we could have a much healthier, safer community. So I know that that's going to be on the next 6 months. We've got some other things, some decisions that council have been working on. They will be coming up again. One, and I am very much in favor of us building and putting in, getting grants, getting money. And if anybody out there knows how to help us get money for a train stop here in the city, I believe that would bring in, I believe it would be good for business. I believe that it would bring in new customers. I believe that it would cause people that have not been to the Ypsilanti before to take a train ride, get off, walk around Depot Town, walk up to downtown, and have dinner, have lunch. I believe that it would be an asset. Having the train platform would be an asset for EMU, for their students to travel coming here. I believe it would enhance travel between Ypsi or Ann Arbor area and Ypsi to Detroit and back. So I'm looking forward to us working on that. I'm looking forward to it going forward. So if anybody, like I said, if anybody has any ideas, suggestions for help with that. And like I said, the next 6 months too, I'm going to be asking for all the help and focusing on getting something built on Water Street. I'm not saying that it will be built in 6 months, but at least plans are there and underway that something will be built. I'm also hoping and looking forward to possibly having the old Visteon plant there on Spring Street down by the river. Looking forward to having it filled with a business, bringing in jobs to the area. And certainly we do need jobs here in the city of Ypsilanti. And Andy, that's about all I can say to that for 6 months. I mean, I haven't laid out incremental plans for 6 months yet, but I'm working on it.
Understood. And Mayor, we are at our end point here. So again, I want to thank you for making time to be with us today. And we look forward to any way we can connect folks with some of the things you're doing. If you have any final thoughts you wish to share, I'd like to afford you that opportunity before I wrap us up.
Oh, wow. Okay. I would just once again like to thank the Chamber for affording me this opportunity to speak with your membership and to share some of my heart regarding the city of Ypsilanti, to share some of the things that I hope we'll be able to accomplish, some of the things that I want to see as we move forward. I once again want to iterate that my desire is to work with the businesses here in the city, because as the businesses build up, the city gets built up also. And not only does the city get built up, and work with the universities so that the universities built up, and so that we all flourish together. And remember, my word is Ypsilanti is going to be a grand city. And just very quickly, I went through the Chamber's Leadership Ypsilanti, and that was one of the things that helped me in my decision to run for office. And one of the classes that we had, sessions that we had to come up with our own slogan for the city of byline or tagline for the city of Ypsilanti. And I just want to share that with everybody, because we have a wonderful city now. Ypsilanti is the best kept secret in Southeast Michigan. Many people in the area don't know that we're here. They don't know the museums that we have available. You don't know the rich historic district that we have. People don't also know all that there is to know about Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti has a lot of wonderful, wonderful things going for it, and we just need to make it known. And the goal is to make Ypsilanti a grand, flourishing city. And thanks again for those that listen. Thanks you for your questions. And again, I am available. So please contact me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and thank you for able to join. Please check a2ychamber.org for updates, and we will see you again on the next Zoom meeting, and we hope at some point back again in person. Thanks so much.
Okay, Andy, before you go, would you please send me the chats? I'd like to, I know they were popping up, but I couldn't read them and keep talking. So please send them to me.
Absolutely. We will do that, Mayor. You bet.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Okay.
You too.
Bye now.